Hold up in that car wash, gentlemen.
Rob Kibbe.
Don't tell me. You're from outer space.
No, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
Mike Finnegan.
Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
Two guys talking cars.
I am a semi-professional race car driver and an amateur tattoo artist.
Taking on the most serious topics.
But we will give nothing back to the academic community, as well as provide no public service of any kind. This much I promise you.
And the Dukes of Hazzard. On iTunes, Stitcher, and whatever else it is you listen on. The Kibbe and Finnegan Show.
Kibbe and Finnegan Show, episode number 93. Available in iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Instagram TV, every now and then YouTube, and Patreon. Patreon supporters receive a once-a-month special edition show just for them, frankly. This month, they're getting a Christmas gift of Kibbe and Finnegan Show stickers, because pretty soon we aren't going to need those stickers. This is a public announcement. This actually went out in the November Patreon show. But Corndog, in this holiday season, in fact, has cruelly and brutally fired Mike Finnegan as full-time co-host. Corndog, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, it took a few seasons, but I finally managed to do it.
You finally got it. You ripped that paycheck right out of his hands.
Yeah.
This is public news, and in 2019, things are changing. Mike is stepping away from the show as the full-time co-host. He's still going to be on every now and then when we can make it work and squeeze him in. But we've reached a point where it is too hard to try to do 18 different shows at full strength. And shows like these they're a lot of work, far more work than anybody will ever know. It's a grind, it's a time commitment, and he just had to call me right after, a couple weeks after seeing him and say, hey, I got to make a change. Something here has got to give. It has nothing to do with friendship or even money, frankly. It really comes down to bandwidth and time. What happened is I called you, and I said, here's what's going down. And actually, you might have known before my wife even did, but there were a few select people that I let know right away to say, should we quit?
Yeah.
Everybody that I talked to, including Mike, said, please don't do that. Talked to all the Patreon people. Said, this is happening. If you guys want to back out, I know a lot of you showed up for Mike. You feel free to step away. And a few people did, but most of them didn't. In fact, some even upped their contributions. And one guy wrote some real nice. I've received so much positive comment. Well, because also of you. Because the only way I was interested in continuing on, I have no desire to do a solo show here. This is a buddy show. And I always want it to be a buddy show. But you were willing to do it. And you, A, making this fit in your schedule is difficult. I know that. B, I knew that, you're a trusted, known voice in the show. People love you. I think we can finally do your own sweatshirt now. But the reality is, you said yes to doing it, and that to me was enough to let's change this. So we have a show name change coming. I don't know, what did you think when I called and said, hey, Mike's quitting? Did you seriously think, hey, let's pack it up? Because I don't know that you immediately jumped and said, yes, I'd love to do this every single week with you.
Well, the first thing when you called me, I could tell it was fresh because you probably only knew for maybe just a few hours, or at least it seemed that way. So anyways, the first thing I thought of was, okay, well, how much time can I commit? Like try to do it every week or every other week, or, we talked about all that, and I just didn't want to overcommit myself before I just went out there and said, yeah, let's do it. So, I didn't want to say, let's do it. And then, a month in say, no, I can't do this every week or every other week or, however often. Of course, I had to think about it and try to figure out how it was all going to work out. And here I am on my lunch break.
Yeah, we did some testing. Well, first of all, you had to see, can I do this schedule-wise? For the 18 million of you who have written me and said, hey, I want a podcast too. This sounds so easy. What do I do? Here's the answer. A, treat it like a business, because it is. The schedule is the grind. That's the hardest part. B, you can Google most of the equipment that you need. And we're going to be upgrading some equipment, but that was one of the things that we had to figure out. Can you, from where you need this to fit in your daytime, electronically pull it off? Can we do this from an iPhone and a couple of unique mic setups? I mean, we have a mic coming for you that will hook to your phone that might make you sound, like you're in a radio station, frankly. So there were a number of things that we tested out to see, can we pull this off? But that was the other big thing. Can we do it? Not after should we do it, but can this happen? So nothing's going to change release-wise. We're still going to do 3 shows a month publicly and then a Patreon show as well. Unless sponsors or something else dictates that, that's the plan. We are going to have more voices on the show, though. Bernie's going to be coming on more. I wanted to run this one by you. Have you ever seen the Zach Galifianakis thing, Between Two Ferns?
I've seen a few of them. I haven't watched a bunch of them, but I know what you're talking about.
I think we should dupe automotive celebrities into coming on here and thinking it's a big deal, and then having them do a hosted segment with us.
We can get Jay Leno on. And
oh, hell yeah.
Finally get John Schneider on.
We'll get him on. Oh, everybody. It can go big. And then when it comes to the Patreon show, we're going to step up our game, with swag, maybe an event this year. 2019.
That'd be awesome. I
would love to tie that in. I'm in this because we're friends, but also because you're the real deal. Like, you're deep connected here with all the...
yeah, I'm a nerd.
You know all the right people in all the right places. The 40th anniversary Dukes of Hazzard event is coming up this year. It'd be awesome if we could find a way to maybe do an event that led up to that. There's a lot of things that we can do for next year, but I'm excited to keep going. So here's the new show name. Should we tell them the new show name?
Go for it.
I hate even saying it. It's because it sounds so selfish. It's called the Kibby and Friends Show. I asked you if you would do Kibby and Corn Dog. I did.
Yeah.
We went round and round on that. We checked with a few people. Kibby and Friends allows us to have a lot of people on here. You're the co-host. It also is a real sneaky pull in that it allows us to keep the KAFS market, like everything that we've branded to date, all those old links, it's still going to work. So that's
well, like
important.
I was telling you, anything other than Kibby and Finnegan, it just doesn't sound right. So it doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to sound right. So Kibby and Friends is perfect because, like you said, that allows other people to come in besides myself, and so it kind of keeps it broad.
Yeah, and you know what? We're continuing to build this airplane as we fly it, so it'll take a while to let it settle in and see how it sounds. But I've
got one question.
Yeah.
Does this make me Coy or Vance?
Oh, no. We're not doing that at all. Okay. No. We're going like MASH. Like when Henry Blake left and then Colonel Potter showed up, those were two different dudes. Totally different characters. Coy and Vance, they were just carbon copies. No, that was not okay. Hey, funny enough, our show writer for Muscle Car Place, he met Coy and Enos at some event in Michigan and gave their manager a business card. And he contacted me about having him on the show.
Was it the event like just last week or the week before?
Somewhere in Michigan.
Yeah, I heard about that one. That would be good. Byron Cherry, he's really cool. I've met and talked with both of them, and they're both really nice. Byron Cherry, he'll hang out with you in the lobby of a hotel till midnight. We did that.
You know this from personal experience.
Yeah, my friend was with us, and we were in his truck for a Dukes event down in Louisiana, and Byron Cherry was hanging out in the lobby, and at about 10:30, they hopped in my buddy's truck and made a beer run, and he was just shocked that you could go buy beer at a gas station for whatever reason.
What does he do for a living?
I have no clue.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know.
We got an entertainment manager's card and contact info, and this is somebody who books celebrities for events. Sonny Shore as well, and Sonny's, he's got to be close to 80, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's really nice. If you ever get the chance to hang out with him and talk, he's a really nice guy.
Well, yeah, we can maybe have that on here. Anyway, for everybody listening, here's all the news. Hopefully this doesn't shock you, and we're all still friends. I've talked to Mike 3 or 4 times this week, in fact. We're looking at a car project to do next summer. I mean, everything's cool. It's just sometimes things got to change, and luckily, a corn dog is always there to save you. So, there.
Here I am.
Okay, so Mike will come back for one more show, like with a review before Christmas. So, here are my choices for the last thing that we review together: Talladega Nights, Goodbye General Lee, the episode, or Airplane. What are your thoughts? I love them all.
Yeah. Of course, part of me would want to say Happy Birthday, General Lee.
Or Happy Birthday, General Lee. Yeah, you're right.
That's one of the best episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie reviews are always really funny too, and it's been a long time since I've seen either one of those, Airplane or Talladega Nights. But there's so many great one-liners in Talladega Nights. Well, I don't know. There is an Airplane too, so.
Mm-hmm. We'll let the listeners comment in. Send us an email.
Tough.
Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know whatever you want to do. Oh, yeah. I got to change our Instagram handle name. There's a lot of stuff you have to do when you rebrand a show. A lot.
Yeah.
All pretty doable.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for 2 weeks or so and still haven't worked everything out, so.
The salary demands are a bit much, if I might tell you. So I'll nobody makes
So
more than Bernie.
So you're saying I can get that big mansion I've always wanted?
I'm saying you can get some kind of mansion. It's up to you what.
A Lego mansion.
A Lego mansion is fine. So speaking of Bernie, Bernie's not here in person today, but he did prepare for us a couple of segments. Would you like it? What's Burning Bernie?
That would be great. It's been a while.
Here we go.
It's Burning Questions with Bernie. Now, if you've got a question for us, send it care of email to robert@themusclecarplace.com. And as always, send multiple copies and, just for fun, include some intentional misspellings that'll help keep us awake. Hashtag don't judge the inbox. Question 1, guys. We talked to vendors at SEMA who said car parts and speed parts make great Christmas gifts. Hey, I can testify. I've received everything from trim parts to wheels to a chrome front bumper, all individually wrapped and under the tree, by the way. So now here's your chance. Should Santa bring you car parts or tools?
What's your vote? I'm voting for a TV. That's what I really want. I've not upgraded TVs in a long time.
I will say that my wife, she always has a hard time buying something for me for Christmas because I really don't know what I want. But I did tell her tools. So I've been needing a shop vac for a while now. And so that's what I told her. Car parts are always great, though.
Your dome light is going on and off. Why is that? It just went off.
I took the keys out.
Oh, okay.
So, my truck was running, but
are you cold?
That's my halo.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many tools I want. I would love a different tool chest. No, I'm voting for a TV. I really want a better TV. It has just been too long. And the problem is we're in this limbo of moving. So our house has been for sale for like 4 months now. We have not gotten so much as an insulting offer. We've gotten like 20 showing. I mean, lots of showing. Most people like it, but they're looking at it because there's another house that they like a little more. And they just want to double check that they're making the right choice with the other one. You know, it's like I really like this other hotter chick, but you're nice. So I just wanted to see if the niceness balances that out. And
we'll go out for a little while, but, you know, don't expect me to hang around too long.
There's no commitment. So our house is, you can really only configure where our living room and TV thing really goes in about one way. And that's the bummer of it. So my wife has said, I don't want you to upgrade TV because we might move. Well, we've been moving for a long time. So that's this is my dilemma. Have you looked at the curved TVs?
I've seen them, but I'm not techie enough to really get the whole purpose of it. If I get a good, nice size TV that has a good picture, I'm perfectly happy with it. You know, we've got like a 51 inch in our living room, and I'm perfectly happy. I don't have to have all the bells and whistles. I don't really get what the whole purpose of the curved TV is. I
don't know. I've only seen ones that are 4K. I'm slumming it with a 40-inch TV. I don't know how I'm getting by, frankly. So
we were at Best Buy with all intentions of buying a 40-inch. I think it was back in February. Anyways, and you look right over on the display, and there's a 51 for the same price. Everything was exactly the same brand, same picture quality and everything, but they had a sale, and it was like, I want to say it was like $20 more. That's a no-brainer. I'm going that way.
Right. Okay.
So
I think I have it closed for Bernie.
Finally, a question for you, Rob, and Corn Dog, and it's a question from all of us of sorts, based on the big announcement that you made earlier. Here it is. Really? He's out? Such a bummer that Finnegan took a breeze, just when it was getting interesting. Well, such is life, and our hearts must go on. Mike, from all of us, we'll miss the banter, the last-minute decisions to record from your garage or the upstairs couch. We'll miss 2-beer Mike, but knowing it's going to inspire 3-beer Rob to fill in nicely. We'll miss the wholly insightful Dukes reviews written by Mike's kids and orated so skillfully to end up again admiring Annie's sighting of Daisy Dukes. We'll miss the constrained Mike.
I'll have you note I have resisted the urge to drink.
We'll miss the honest Mike.
You get a couple cocktails in me and dude, I'll tell you everything.
But mostly, we're going to miss our friend. Mike, thanks for being with us, and we know you'll be back from time to time. So, finally, would you have any advice for us about how to enjoy Christmas?
Enjoy your dry-ass turkey, people.
Well, that's it. Remember, send your stuff to robert@themusclecarplace.com titled Burning Questions with Bernie. And as always, thanks.
Boy, I'm sure that won't be the last of his goodbyes.
Well, we all know that this was just a stepping stone for Mike to get to a bigger project. So,
I hope it helped him out. So.
Yeah, he might actually make it in this automotive industry.
I think he will. I think he'll be just fine. But the one thing that he won't get to do is Duke's reviews, and he won't get to do advertisements for MeUndies. And this corn dog is an inauguration for you. It's Christmas time, corn dog. And when I think of Christmas, I of course think about happiness, joy to the world, and the old Yule log. I know this is our first one of these together, but do you understand where I'm heading here?
I understand exactly. That's why my eyes are shifting over here.
Shifting to the ad copy. That's a good idea.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that is right, people. Somebody's got to pay corn dog's salary, and that's why we want you to stoke the fire downstairs for the big event coming up and go shopping for some Christmas undies from MeUndies. They use the coveted micromodal fabric, 3 times softer than cotton. And I have felt some soft cotton. This is 3 times softer than that. This is like really good cotton, but it's micromodal fabric. If you've never felt this fabric, get ready to experience pure bliss in your underwear. Oh, in underwear form, it says. Sorry. You can also get multiple styles, different cuts. I look at the MeUndies different prints before we start recording, and I think the neighbors in the office across the street are wondering why I'm looking at ladies' underwear so much. But I gotta know what the prints are. Currently, the Santa Claus ones are pretty sweet. But these are fun undies, great stocking stuffer. Why stop at MeUndies? They also have cozy lounge pants and onesies, perfect for wearing on Christmas morning. So, what is our sweet, sweet offer there, corn dog?
Well, MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchaser, when you purchase any MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping.
Wow.
Not just 15% off, but free shipping as well.
Excellent.
As long as you order by December 16th with the free shipping, you will be able to get your items by Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Are you crunched for time? You can't go wrong with a MeUndies gift card. This is a no-brainer. Get 15% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. And yes, the micromodal stuff is very, very soft. My wife had some pajamas that was made of modal, and it's very nice.
Excellent. You're a pro broadcaster through and through,
I don't know about that.
And for our listeners here, to get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, just go to MeUndies.com/KAFS. That's MeUndies.com/KAFS. And if you're wondering why we call it the Kibby and Friends Show, it's because KAFS. Get it?
That's right. We had to stick with the KAFS.
It works, and it works well, and it works in the past, too, when they click the links.
Yeah.
Okay, you have now just done your first ad. You've done your first intro section with Bernie. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. What are you in the mood for?
Well, eventually we'll do a show review, but we're running a little ahead schedule here. What I would like to chat about is I posted a picture on Instagram that shows the one piece of difference that my General Lee needs to be season 3 accurate or more correct when it comes to how it's decaled. So when I bought this car, I mean, to me, it just looked like the General Lee. I really didn't pay attention to how the flags and the numbers were different throughout the seasons.
Right.
When I got the car, it had movie car decals on it, which are unique to the movie car, but the General Lee script itself is unique, I think, to the movie cars.
Right.
And you looked at my car and you said, really, the only thing you would have to do to make it pretty close is just swap out that script with TV script. So
Right.
When it comes to all the decals, you sent me to Crazy, what's his name? Crazy C?
Crazy C. Yeah.
There's different colors used in the flag and the letters throughout the seasons. Their numbers are different. Do you know all the differences in there, or can you explain them in a radio type way that'll make sense?
The earlier cars, the early, California and of course, the Georgia and early California cars, they used a dark blue, and the white border around the blue and around the actual flag itself was a pretty good bit wider.
Mm-hmm.
The dimensions was a little bit smaller overall of the whole flag. And so the flag was different. The text was a little bit different as well. It was a little bit fatter letters with a darker blue. And then the 01s, they always kind of stayed about the same until the very end. They got real fat at the very end.
So like season 7, season 6, is that when they got really large?
Yeah, they weren't really proportioned very well because they were all hand done. I know on some of the cars, you can look straight at the 01. The two angled parts of the top of the O aren't even at the same angle. They're just kind of halfway, two totally different angles.
So they weren't pre-printed. They were hand cut in vinyl?
No, they had a method that they always used, and they would just lay it out and then tape it off and start spraying. And so I'm sure they weren't very specific. But the Vazes, they used a decal.
Mm-hmm.
So they just printed them out and slapped them on. So
wait, they used decals for the 01s?
Yeah, because I have a piece of an 01. I posted it on Instagram. I guess it was over the weekend. But it's a little small piece of an 01, and it's not an overlay. It's a printed 2-color decal.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was out there back in 04, they had a door on display, and this little piece of a decal was barely even hanging on by a thread. And I was talking with one of the Vazes brothers, and we were talking about it. And I just made a comment about it. It was just barely hanging on. He said, if you want it, go and snatch it off of there. He said, because it's going to fall off. So it probably had 1/8 of an inch worth of decal it was hanging by. So that little piece that I've got, it's off of one of the Vazes doors.
Mm-hmm. Did they paint the red and the blue of the flag on, and then the rest was? Okay.
Yes, as far as their flags go, they would paint the red and the blue, and then they had a 1-inch white vinyl, just strips of 1-inch vinyl, and they'd lay it all around the perimeter, and then all the border, and then they'd slap on the hand-cut stars.
And what about their General Lee script? Was that paint or vinyl?
I'm pretty sure it was a decal as well.
And the color of the words General Lee, are there multiple colors? Because when Crazy C asked me what I wanted, like he said, well, what color is your flag? And I said, what do you mean? I don't even know. And then he just chose what he thought was the right color for me and sent it to me, and it worked out.
Yeah. It was usually darker blue. The flag was darker blue. The decal, the General Lee text, was a little bit lighter shade of blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the earlier ones, they had an equally dark blue letter. But then late California, they went to a really light blue General Lee text.
Okay.
It didn't match the flag itself.
In late California, did the flag go to all vinyl? Because my car right now, I mean, everything's a decal. The whole flag is a decal.
They never did vinyl decal flags. They just did the borders and the stars.
Even Warner Brothers built the car?
Yeah, same thing. And even on my reunion car, it was the same way. The only thing that was different on my reunion car, and they may have done it this way on the Warner Brothers car, they would start off with a big rectangle, a white rectangle, and then they would go in and tape off the blue and paint the red, and tape off the red and paint the blue, and then they just came back with vinyl stars. And that's how the reunion cars were done, and I believe that's the way the late California cars were done as well.
So how about the movie cars? Were the movie cars all decal, or were they?
It's 100% decal.
Okay.
On the movie cars.
All right. And my car, like most replicas, I shouldn't say that, but my car is all decal. Everything.
Yeah.
Do most people who build replicas paint the flag on?
No, they usually just do a decal as well. It's not too bad to do a decal. I mean, to do a painted on flag, but it's kind of time consuming. And like Crazy C's decals, he uses the best material that's available, and it has really good UV protection. And it lays down really, really nice, too. So it's almost just as easy just to go on and use one of his flags.
Who is that guy? What's his real name?
Chad Pulliam.
Chad Pulliam.
I met up with him, and I got the 01s from my reunion car at the Cooter's Last Stand. And I think you were even standing there with me. We were up under the tent or whatever, and I met up with him, and I got the decals from him. But I can't remember if he's North Carolina or South Carolina, but he's over there, and that's what he does. He works at I think he works at a sign shop, and so he does all this kind of stuff kind of on the side. His boss, I guess, lets him just buy the material at cost, and he's able to make replica graphics.
Okay.
He'll make whatever you want. You remember the little big wheel, little kids, 3-wheel, big wheel? He'll make decals for those. The little pedal car. He'll make decals for just about anything. The Fall Guy truck, he made the decal for the hood.
Oh, really?
Yeah. While that truck was still in my possession, the owner, he was wanting to redo the hood. I don't know where he got the image from or whatever. I'm sure he was able to pull up an image somewhere. And so he printed out a huge hood decal. And so when we sold the truck, the decal went with it. So I'm sure he used it.
For your Daisy Duke replica 74 Roadrunner, did you already have those decals or stickers made up for it?
No, I need to get some. They're just standard, Chrysler off the shelf. Every other Roadrunner had. The only thing that's different is the 73s, they're solid on the side, and then when they go across the roof, it's a strobe pattern. And then 74, they went to a solid stripe all the way around. I mean, it still has the outline around it, but it's a solid stripe all the way around. But except the early 74s still had a strobe stripe. So the Daisy car was a 74, but it was an early 74 that still had the 73 stripe on it.
Oh, I mean, though, like the window stickers you wanted in, like the hot rod stickers, or I forget what.
Those were, I just found old stickers. They're just old stock stickers.
Oh, just like on eBay or something?
Yeah. Once I found out what it actually was, what he's talking about is on the quarter glass on the driver's side, it was called Roadrunner brand mufflers and shocks or whatever, and it's a little yellow sticker with a red Roadrunner bird on it. And I finally found out what it was, and then once I found out, then I just started looking for them on eBay, and I found a few sets. And so they had that on the quarter glass, and they also had a pair of them on the rear bumper. So cool. I just found those on eBay.
Awesome. Okay. For everybody listening who wants to know why you're the co-host, that's why. Nobody knows that stuff. That's
because I'm a nerd.
You're a nerd, and you're a very well-connected nerd. So, my well-connected nerd friend, let's go ahead and get to our Dukes of Hazzard review, because I know your lunch shift is about to end.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
Season 4, Episode 12, Cletus Falls in Love, written by Cy Rose, directed by John Floria, original air date December 11th, 1981. So, do you want to try a super show summary, or would you like me to just give the gist of it?
I say give the gist of it, because I'm never good at those.
Here's everything you need to know about this episode. So we are literally halfway through the reviews of the Dukes of Hazzard TV show series. And this thing is just clicking like a well-oiled, pretty predictable machine. This episode is all about one unfortunate misunderstanding between Daisy Duke and Cletus, because she said to him the words that every male in 1981 wanted to hear. Well, you know what? She said, "I love you." That's what she said.
Yeah.
So I have for you the one and only clip that I had time to pull thus far. Would you like to hear this clip?
Let's hear it.
Here we go.
What in the heck's gotten into him?
I don't know. You don't drink?
Well, maybe he should.
What did you say out on the highway?
I didn't say anything. You fellas were there. I thanked him for not giving y'all a ticket, and I said, "I love you, Cletus."
I remember.
She was using her womanly, wildly ways to get them out of a ticket, and Cletus misunderstood that for true love.
On that part where they're doing the scene on the side of the road, she's over there just, trying to get them to let them go, and you just look over at Bo and Luke, and they're just standing there just like, yeah, she's over there working her magic. She's doing her thing.
It's an okay episode. This is the second of the shows where we see the new look for the General Lee. So wide push bar, light tan interior, really a consistent looking car. The side marker lights are gone. The roll bar has got nice black padding on it. I did, and I think I saw this in your review as well, I did see one scene where there's a little red tag on the driver's side, bottom left corner of the driver's side of the dash, which I assume means that was a values A tag. I thought they used those little red tags. And then
Warner Brothers used them as well.
Did they really?
They were usually on the gauge cluster, or in the door jamb, which of course on the General Lee you never saw the door jambs.
Right.
So they were always in the door jamb. And what's crazy is they did this in the movie as well. They would put right where you saw that red tag on the outside of the windshield, right there where it's plain sight. They would put a tag there, and then when it came time to film, they'd peel the tags off. And then I guess afterwards they'd put the tags right back on. But in the movie, of course, they didn't use those little red punch tags.
Yeah, like the old hand cranked
this
ones.
was an electronic
like a
one
label
that just
maker.
prints it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Warner Brothers used those red tags as well. And sometimes they used blue ones.
Okay. Well, I had a couple questions for you specific to the car. So there's one scene where you are in the General Lee, and it's a second unit car. You're looking out the rear window, and you can see the package tray. And you can see 2 speakers in the package tray. They're rectangular. Was that a Dodge thing, or were those aftermarket speakers in there?
Yeah, they were aftermarket speakers. On a Dodge Charger, if you were to remove that cover and take it down to the metal, you've got one speaker that would go in one direction, and on the other side it goes in the opposite direction. And the only reason I could think that they did that was for you could get a rear defrost on a car, and with the rear defrost, the blower motor would end up going in that area right next to the speaker. So that's my only reason to think that they would turn them one way and one the other. But when you did get a rear speaker car, the package tray, it was just perforated. So they never had any kind of grills or anything like that on it. So that was definitely something, someone bought afterwards and did.
And then when they prepped that car, I mean, they painted it. I mean,
they just sprayed it.
Sprayed it tan. But this is something I want for my car. So my car had a single dash speaker in it. And I'm going to put a radio back in it. And probably just a single dash speaker in it. But I have seen other General Lees, and I guess now that I'm looking, Chargers where they have in the dash, like on the corners of the dash, they look like tweeters, little extra speakers. What's the speaker package that you could have gotten a Charger, and does that translate into speakers that you get in the rear deck too?
Well, usually, like your car, you would only have that one single speaker on the dash. And then you could get rear speakers, but I don't know if you could get just rear speakers with the single up front and then have 3 speakers. But when you got an 8-track player, you would get what they call a 3-speaker dash. And you'd have the one in the center, and then you'd have the 2 little speaker grills on either side of the dash. Like if you remember, Lee 1 had that option.
Yeah.
The Survivor TV series car, number 33, it had the same option with the 3-speaker dash. But if it was me, what I've done on a lot of the restorations that I've done, we put speakers in the back, and then as far as up front, it's a weird size. It's like a 4x9, I think it is, but you can get a dual cone speaker for that front dash. So I think that looks good. And I mean, really, you don't plan on having a system or anything in your car, so I wouldn't think, but.
No, I'm just going to buy an AM radio, and I might have somebody put a Bluetooth hookup in it or something.
They sell those retro radios that's it looks like a stock radio, but it has all the modern guts on the inside. And you can get AM, FM, and the dial looks the same. It has the thumb wheels and everything. It looks just like a factory radio. I like those.
I'll check into that. I mean, frankly, just finding an original radio is an expensive proposition, especially if you want an FM one, AM, FM.
Yeah,
those are like $800-900.
Right.
The ones I've seen.
I sold one time.
You're the reason, huh? That market.
No, I just jumped on the bandwagon when I saw what they were selling for. The one I had, it didn't even work, but it was nice and clean. I think I got $450 for it.
Well, let me give you our Corn Dog Insider Car Show Analysis Report. These are sent to me. We got a guy that does these now. He has his own website, realgenerally.net, I think is what it is. Very into Gilmore Girls, something
no,
like that.
No Gilmore Girls.
Well, that's
it's
what
either
it says
generally.net or therealgenerally.com.
Ah,
I had to change it up a little bit, yeah. Mike actually bought the Gilmore Girls website from me. He offered me pretty good money, so you must have been paying him pretty well.
That's the reason we're so damn broke, because he he took everything.
Well, he has a new hobby then.
Here's what your notes say. Number 1, not a lot to pull from this episode, but there are a few interesting nuggets here and there. When Boss Hogg is sitting at his desk and is trying to come up with a way to frame the Dukes, he looks down at some wanted profiles laying in front of him. He takes notice of one for William Bailey, who is wanted for passing bad checks. What really caught my attention was that it said William was 32 years old and born in 1912, which would actually have made this prop slightly out of date. I also noticed that his date of birth was April 15th, 1912, the same day the Titanic sunk. So was that a copy of some old prop they had? Maybe?
Yeah, it's probably so. I mean, I don't know if you went or not, but when you go on the Warner Brothers tour, they'll take you through the prop department.
Yeah, that we did. That was the last thing we did.
Yeah, and that's just huge. And there's just so many different items in there. And so I'm sure somewhere in there they've got a file cabinet that says, wanted flyers.
Mm-hmm.
And they just went in there and grabbed a few and just used them and didn't really pay attention to what was on it. Technically, that was dated for 1944, so it was slightly out of date.
Slightly out of date. Next item here. When Bo and Luke are loading up the back of the General Lee with bags of corn seed, when they climb in the car, here we go. You can see the little red label on the lower corner of the windshield, which we had talked about.
Right.
And that car was a 68, and it was full of weird paint. Next item, when Boss Hogg is making his changes to the check, and this is one where the way that they get the Duke boys in jail is that they take an $11 check, and Boss Hogg fakes it to say $1,100.
Right.
He says you say. When Boss Hogg is making his changes to the check to read $1,100, the check was dated October 20th, 1981. This is likely about the same time that this episode was actually filmed. And that was a question I had for you. So in these, there's another episode coming up where we go back to a small push bar General Lee.
Right.
I was not aware of that, and you had told me, well, that's coming, but that was filmed prior to these. So are we now seeing stuff that's aired in the order it was filmed? Because prior to now, it could be all out of order.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list right now. This episode, let's see, Goodbye General Lee was filmed, and then The Sound of Music, which doesn't even air until, this was December 11th. That one aired, Sound of Music aired on January 8th. And so they're pretty much in order, but they still kind of jump around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I do have, right here, I have a date for the first draft of the script, and it was on September 2nd of 81. So if that was the first draft, and by the time you do the final draft and then shooting and all that, it would fall right in there, around October 20th. Or was it 20th or 21st that the check said?
October 20th is what my bulletproof notes say here. So
yeah. And the one before it, I'm looking right now, the one, The Sound of Music, it was recorded, or it was filmed October 6th of 81. And then 2 episodes later is November 4th. So that's right in there, right about the same time.
Next tidbit here, almost the last tidbit. I did not see this. There were multiple scenes where stuntman Al Wyatt Jr., the man who makes the General Lee drive like the General Lee, tries his hardest to deliver a tray of pies without being run over by all the Hazard police, and it's very comical. During one of the scenes, stuntman Jerry Summers is driving the Roscoe police car. Even though they are spaced out throughout the episode, all of the shots were shot one right after the other. You can see the same cars and extras in the background on every shot. Also, one of the background vehicles is a sweet, lifted 70s Dodge van that is orange, has a push bar on it, and is even sporting a set of 10-spoke Vectors. All in all, 7.5 corn dogs of yourself on this episode. Where's the van? It was a pretty
good episode.
Where's the van?
Okay, if you're visualizing the shot, it was... you've got Al Wyatt's back to you, and you see the car approaching. And so you're looking at that angle, and if you look just to the right of the car approaching, the van's parked on the side of the road, right alongside the curb. And so you see that van multiple times from the front and the back. And I didn't notice it until very later in the episode that it even had the 10-spoke wheels. So I started looking at a couple screenshots that I took of it, and I saw that it even had a push bar that's pretty similar to the General Lee push bar, the wide one. I'll go back and look and see if I get any more close shots of the push bar and details of the car or the van.
Well, excellent review. I'm going to give this one more of a 6. Not my kind of show. It's pretty hard to compete with the last one, which was Goodbye General Lee, which is 100% General Lee focused. I can always use more stunts to even out a little lack of General Lee centric.
It had some good driving scenes, but it's one of those episodes that I call just kind of a safe episode. It's not a really bad episode, but not really a great episode. So
much like our episode today. It's not bad. Yeah. It's not great, but it's not bad. That's a joke.
That ad review was the best, though, right?
Yes. I can't wait to see how Bernie You know what, Bernie? Leave it funny. MeUndies has been good to us, so they might think it's funny. Okay, everybody, you can follow this show. Right now, it's still called The Kibbe and Finnegan Show. That will change in 2019. But make sure that you're following on Instagram. And you can get all the episodes, no matter what the name is, at themusclecarplace.com. That's the home base website. And we really appreciate it. We're here to do this for you as long as you're interested and you think it's fun and funny. Otherwise, we'll totally quit, right? Right.
Nope.
No, you're in forever? More power to you.
We'll go have fun.
We will do that. Okay. Anything else? Are we good?
I think that's pretty good.
Okay. Corn Dog, I'll catch you later. Everybody, thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
All right.
Hey there, this is Rob. I just want to add a quick note at the end here, just from me to you. I really appreciate you guys all reaching out, especially if you're on Patreon and you knew Mike's departure was coming. I know for many of you who have just heard the news in this episode, we don't make light of it. We love Mike. I love Mike. I'm genuinely going to miss our sessions together. What you heard in those shows was 100% genuine. They were as fun as they sounded. They really were. We built such a neat platform here. I certainly don't want to try to just duplicate it going forward. So in 2019, we're making some changes to this thing. I think the world of Corn Dog for stepping into some pretty big shoes. I really wanted to just say from the heart, thank you to all of you out there who said, please don't wrap this up. Find a new way to keep going and make it bigger and better if you can. So there you go. That is what we hope to do in the future. We're here as long as you want us to be, or until the sponsorship money dries out, of course. Right. So up next are all of the clips from this episode of The Dukes. I tried to pull them best as I could. I hope you enjoy them, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hi, Daisy.
Hi, Cletus. Now, I can vouch for Bo. You believe me, don't you?
Well, sure, Daisy, but I still got to do my duty.
Cletus, look what you've got and done. Now, sugar, can't you find it in your big, warm heart to not give my poor little cousins a nasty, nasty ticket?
Well...
Cletus?
Maybe just this once for you, Daisy.
I love you. I'm gonna be late for work, so I'll say goodbye now.
Thanks a lot, Cletus. See you later.
Buzzers on a bus stop. Daisy Duke loves me.
Son of a revenue. What? Roscoe. What? We got ourselves a new state probation supervisor.
Oh.
And you know something?
What?
If that fella ever takes a gander at my casebook on Bo and Luke Duke, he's gonna can me for sure.
Oh, that's terrible.
On the corner, them Dukes got 287 suspected violations on their probation record, and I ain't got a conviction on them even once.
Oh, that doesn't look good for you, boss. Listen, do you mind if I have just a little dip?
No. Get your paws off my ham hocks. And you start thinking of a way that we can nail them Dukes. Because if I lose my job, there's county probation officer and that big fat paycheck that goes with it, you're going to be out on your tailpipes of sheriff.
Oh, well, now, listen, I'll think of something.
What in the heck's gotten into him?
Oh, no. You don't drink?
Well, maybe he should.
What did you say out on the highway?
I didn't say anything. You fellas were there. I thanked them for not giving y'all a ticket, and I said I love you, Cletus.
I remember. Dang them Dukes. I just gotta nail them. And I gotta do it by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, or they're gonna cost me my easy money job as county probation officer. Damn, I gotta think, JD, think. I got it. Oh my, JD, you're living right. Or else somebody up there loves me anyhow.
Did those Duke boys try to pull anything?
Yeah, they did. They did. They just passed a bad check for $1,100.
Oh, $1,100? Are you kidding me? Let me see that.
And since they only got $26 in their account, that makes them guilty of grand loss.
Oh, right. Let me see that.
And that violates their probation.
Right.
I'm going to show that state probation officer fella that I run a tight county.
Oh, I see. Your eyes are going too, boss. Look, that's $11. It's not $1,100.
Now, don't you worry. By the time you drag them boys in here, it'll read $1,100. Go on.
Golly, I can't believe this is happening to me.
Cletus, I can't believe this is happening to you either. Now, that's why I think you and I better have a little talk.
Oh, boy, me too.
Because remember back there on the highway when I said a few things, and I think I said, I love you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see, Cletus, it's not quite like what I was saying. I
know, you're just as nervous as I am.
Cletus, it's not
I know. And you know something, Daisy? Every time I come close to you, I hear music. See what I mean?
Yeah.
When Roscoe and Cletus returned and reported that Bo and Luke had escaped, old Boss Hogg had himself a big, bad, bone-busting, wall-eyed fit.
All the bubble-brain, bone-headed boobs. I just got through telling that state supervisor fella up in Capital City that I was going to drag in them 2 probation breakers in chains to our 9 o'clock meeting tomorrow morning. Now I'm going to look like a real jackass, ain't I?
Well, maybe a little one.
No. And what's more, that fella is liable to fire me, and I'm going to lose that big, fat paycheck.
Well, listen, boy, it was a dipstick's fault here. It wasn't my fault. You know something? He ought to be the one that gets fired.
Me? Do you know something? That's the first sensible thing you've said in a long time.
Now, wait a minute. It's not my fault.
Cletus, turn in that 1/8 hog blood of yours, and I mean it. Right now, you're through.
The boss, it wasn't my fault. I just didn't open the door and let him and turn in your hat and this pea shooter, too.
And I get, civilian.
Now, hold on, Cletus.
And I love you too, Daisy.
No, Cletus.
I mean it. Every time I come close to you, I hear music. See what I mean? What?
It's just the horn.
Oh.
Now, Cletus, we have got to talk.
I'd rather smooch.
No, we ain't gonna smooch, Cletus.
Oh, you mean after we get married we can smooch?
Cletus, no, not even after. Cletus!
What? Cletus, look, I'm your friend, right? I mean, me and Bo and Daisy, we're all your friends. We've been friends since we was little kids. And, but she likes you. I mean, we all like you, but she don't love you.
Yes, she does. She told me so herself, and she's always kissing me. Cletus. Now, just hold on a minute, Luke. You don't know what you're talking about. I know Daisy loves me. In fact, I'm on the way out to the farm right now to give her this box of pralines because she wants to have a talk about us.
I struck out. So did I. Come on, we gotta get going. Roscoe's coming.
Well, if it ain't Big Sheriff Little of Chickasaw County. And friends, he just don't like nobody. Old Boss had hired him off duty to guard the incriminating check and to nail them Duke boys before Boss's meeting with the state probation officer.
Well, give it to him, will you?
Go ahead. Yeah. Look, there's a check. Listen, you put it in there. It's going to be safe up there. Listen, Sheriff. You and I, listen, I tell you, we can handle this. I got it all figured out, see?
Coltrane!
What?
You all go play with you rubber duck.
Well, Boss has got the rubber duck. You got the rubber duck.
Well, you ain't supposed to tell anybody about that.
I got my own idea how to nab 'em.
Oh.
And you get your bounty money ready, Hogg. Them Dukes is as good as in the pokey.
All right, that's what I hired you for, ain't it? You're just called and the boys has been arrested.
Yes, Uncle Jesse. Cletus, listen, I've got something to say to you.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
I better know what it is.
No, you don't, Cletus.
Come on, Daisy, the boys is in trouble.
Cletus. Oh, Cletus, we've got to talk.
Okay.
Daisy.
Okay. What? Cletus.
Yeah?
We got to talk.
Okay.
Sheriff Little back there?
No, but you can bet he'll be on our tail pretty quick with that souped-up car of his.
Lost Sheep, come in. This is Bo Peep, and I'm looking real hard for you fellas. Can you read me?
Everybody's loud and clear there, Bo Peep. Listen, we want to thank you for what you did for us back there. What's up?
Listen, cousins.
And Daisy told them that they had to shake Sheriff Little and catch Boss before he got to Capital City with the incriminating check, or their probation was going to be busted. Meanwhile, Daisy called in Jesse and Cooter to try to slow down Boss Hogg.
Sheriff Little really means business. Yeah, Daisy and Cletus caught in the middle.
Cletus, we're not doing anything until I finish telling you what I've got to tell you. Now, there's been a whole mess of misunderstanding, and I've got to apologize.
Cletus, get out of the way. You're going to get yourself shot.
Hush. Cletus.
What?
It's been all my fault for letting it go this far. And I'm so sorry, but I don't love you. I'd like to marry you.
Cletus, I love you like a friend. A real good friend. Maybe even a cousin. But it's all.
The sugar went on.
Flash,
JD, you can't keep evidence from people that are involved.
Boss, Flash is broken into my lunchbox. She's eating my lunch.
Oh, who gives a coon's tail what that flea bag is eating?
But that's where I hid the you-know-what.
What you know what?
You know what?
You don't mean the chick?
Yes!
Oh!
It's right under the meatloaf sandwich! Don't eat Daddy's sandwich!
Keep jumping.
Flash! Don't do that to Daddy's lunch!
Keep on jumping, Flash.
Ain't harder, you beautiful thing, you.
Oh, just listen, Flash, I order your teeth to pull over!
And so old Flash saved the Dukes.
Flash, don't do that to Daddy! Oh!
With the check eaten, Boss had no case against the boys and had to drop the charges.
Lucky she got an appetite.
I can't believe my ears. You...
Which earned him a royal chewing out from the state probation supervisor. And even worse than that, he got docked 6 months' pay. And to top it all off, when the boys threatened to sue for false arrest, he was forced to give old Cletus his job back.
Well, would you look at that?
Oh, Cletus, you look real fine back in your uniform. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you very much, Daisy, but you had your chance. Laverne's waiting for me.
Well, I'll be. What? I ain't sure.
My kind of gal.
Looks like poor Daisy's gonna have to tough it out. But I figure something will happen to keep her busy. Because things usually work out like that in Hazard County.